Welcome, deep divers. Today we're plugging into a really iconic piece of music tech, the Boss RV2 digital reverb.
Ah, yes, the RV.
Little stomp box. It didn't just make noise, it actually kicked off a whole revolution. So we're going to dive deep into its history, the design, its legacy. Our sources today give a fantastic look into its story. Lots of surprises in there.
It's truly fascinating
Yeah.
because, when you look at the RV2, now it's from 1987. Way back, it might just seem like, oh, another old pedal.
Right, just another box.
But it was so much more. This wasn't just a pedal. It was the very first digital reverb in a compact stomp box form.
The first. Wow.
Yeah, it literally paved the way for pretty much every digital reverb pedals you've seen since. It was that aha moment for musicians.
Yeah.
Getting that studio sound right at their feet.
Absolutely. That's such a key point, isn't it? The first isn't always perfect, but it changes the game.
Exactly.
And that brings us to our mission today, really. We want to understand how this RV2 pioneered a new sound, what made it so unique, maybe kind of influential, why its production run was actually so short, that's interesting, and ultimately how it sort of spawned this legendary line of pedals that are still shaping music.
The whole family tree, yeah.
It's not just about the gear itself. It's about that moment, that spark of innovation that, well, it echoed for decades. Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
So let's set the scene first. Picture this. You're a musician. It's before 1987. You want that big, lush, high-quality reverb sound.
Right.
What are your options? Well, mostly you're looking at these huge, bulky rack units. Really
Yeah.
expensive stuff from Lexicon, Yamaha, Roland.
The big names, yeah, studio gear.
Exactly. Sounded amazing, sure, but not exactly portable.
Yeah.
And definitely not cheap for your average gigging musician.
No way.
Your other main choice, that classic spring reverb, right? Built into amps, which is cool, but a very different sound. Distinctive.
Totally different vibe.
Yeah.
And that's precisely where the RV2, when it landed in 87, just blew things open. What's fascinating here is it was the first digital reverb pedal squeezed into that standard Boss stomp box size.
Into the little box. Incredible.
Think about what that meant. Suddenly, studio-grade reverb, the kind previously locked away in those pricey racks,
Mm-hmm.
it was portable. And, okay, maybe not cheap, but relatively affordable compared to the rack stuff.
Right. Accessible.
Boss basically managed to miniaturize the digital signal processing tech from Roland's bigger units. Roland owned Boss, remember, and cram it into their classic pedal.
Yeah.
That wasn't just a small step. It was a total game changer.
Packing that kind of tech in the late 80s into such a small pedal, that must have been a serious engineering challenge. What was actually under the hood making it work?
Oh, absolutely. For a compact pedal then, the tech was pretty impressive. It used 12-bit digital processing.
12-bit. Okay.
Yeah, now today we're used to 16-bit, 24-bit, even 32-bit audio, right?
Yeah.
Much more dynamic range. So 12-bit was limited. To get the most out of it, they used this clever technique called companding.
Companding. How does that work?
Well, think of it like this. You compress the audio signal, making quiet bits louder, loud bits quieter before it goes into the digital processing. Then you expand it back out after.
Ah, okay. So you sort of squeeze it through the limited digital space.
Exactly. It effectively squeezed more dynamic range and less noise out of that 12-bit system. Made it sound cleaner than you'd expect. And crucially, it was the first stomp box with true digital algorithm-based reverb.
Algorithm-based, meaning...
Meaning it wasn't just like a simple echo. It was using math, actual algorithms, to simulate acoustic spaces, rooms, halls, plates. That was a real leap in realism for a pedal.
Wow.
Now, here's a quirky thing about it. Very of its time. It used a fair bit of power.
Oh, really?
Yeah, relatively high power consumption. You often needed a specific Boss adapter, the ACA type, or it would just chew through batteries like nobody's business.
Huh. I bet that caused some drama at gigs.
Oh, for sure. Forgetting the power supply.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the trade-off for having that digital magic back then.
So it wasn't just one sound then. It had options. That must have been a big deal for a pedal.
It was huge. It came with 6 different reverb modes, all on a rotary knob.
6. Okay, what were they like?
You had room 1 and room 2 for simulating smaller spaces. Then hall 1 and hall 2 for those bigger, concert hall sounds.
Classic reverb sounds.
Yep. Then plate, emulating those old studio plate reverbs. Great on vocals, drums. And finally, gate.
Ah, the gated reverb.
Yeah.
Very 80s.
Totally. Super popular back then, especially on drums, think Phil Collins. But guitarists used it a lot too. That sound with a reverb just cuts off sharply. Very distinctive, defined a lot of the sound of that era.
So, okay, complex stuff inside, but Boss always makes things user-friendly. What about the controls? Was it easy to dial in?
Oh yeah, Classic Boss. Super intuitive. They stuck to their standard 4-knob layout.
Familiar territory.
Exactly. You had the mode knob to pick one of those 6 sounds.
Yeah.
Then balance for your wet drum mix, how much effect versus your clean signal.
Standard mix knob, yep.
A tone knob to make the reverb brighter or darker, shape its character. And of course, reverb time to control how long the decay lasted.
From subtle to huge washes, I guess?
Precisely. Everything you needed right there. Easy to understand. Here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay, the sound itself. Beyond the tech specs, how did the RV2 actually sound? You said 12-bit. Did it sound, I don't know, primitive? Or did it have its own thing going on?
It definitely had its own thing. Compared to the super clean, almost transparent digital reverbs we have today, the RV2. It was more grainy, maybe a bit metallic sometimes.
Grainy and metallic, okay.
But see, back in '87, that wasn't necessarily a bad thing. It kind of became its signature sound. It offered this dense, maybe slightly melancholic texture that was totally new, different from spring reverb's splashiness, different from some of the cleaner, maybe colder rack units.
So the imperfection became the character.
Exactly. And that sonic fingerprint was gold for guitarists and genres just starting up, like post-punk, new wave, and especially shoegaze.
Shoegaze. Makes sense.
They used its plate and gate modes, leaned into that grainy texture to build those huge walls of sound, those atmospheric landscapes that define their music. It was darker, moodier than other pedal options.
It's fascinating how limitations can breed creativity like that. Did everyone jump on it right away, or was there some resistance to this new digital sound? And who were some key players using it?
That's a good point about resistance.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, some purists probably stuck to their analog gear.
Yeah.
But the RV2's sound was so new and suddenly so accessible in a pedal. Lots of boundary-pushing artists grabbed it.
Yeah. Like who?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, you think about Kevin Shields from My Bloody Valentine.
Oh, yeah, the king of wall of sound.
Right. He was famous for using early Boss digital reverbs units like the RV2 that were definitely part of crafting those swirling, iconic textures. Robert Smith of The Cure, too.
The Cure, definitely. Lots of atmosphere there.
Absolutely. In the late 80s, that dense, layered reverb became a huge part of his sound, and the RV2 was perfect for that. Beyond specific names, it just got picked up widely by alternative bands, shoegaze bands, anyone looking for that unique ambience, those specific plate and gate sounds. It really helped shape a whole genre's aesthetic.
Amazing impact. But you mentioned its production run was short. That seems odd for something so groundbreaking. What happened?
Yeah, that's one of the most surprising twists in its story, and it feeds right into why it's so collectible now.
Yeah.
The RV2 was only made from 1987 to 1989.
Just 2 years? Why?
Basically, high manufacturing costs. The digital memory chips needed for that processing. They were incredibly expensive back then.
The cost of innovation.
Exactly. It made the pedal itself expensive to produce and therefore pretty pricey for musicians to buy. So it's this amazing technological step, but commercially, it was a bit challenging in its first form. That economic reality is key to its history.
So, groundbreaking tech, but maybe ahead of its time economically. That short run must make it pretty rare today, right? What's its status among collectors?
This raises an important question. Yeah, its value now is significant. The RV2 is highly collectible, very sought after.
Why specifically? Just the rarity?
Well, partly the rarity, sure. But it's mainly because it holds that title. The first digital reverb in a compact stomp box. That's historically huge.
The pioneer.
Exactly. Collectors value that historical importance just as much as its unique sound. And that sound, that grainy, early digital character, later reverbs got technically better, cleaner, but they didn't sound quite like the RV2. So that sound itself is now part of its charm, part of its legend.
So even though its own life was brief, the RV2 obviously planted a seed. It kicked something off. Let's talk about that legacy. How did it lead to the whole Boss Reverb family we know today?
Oh, the legacy is massive. The RV2 is definitely the acorn that grew into a whole forest of reverb pedals. The first direct successor was the RV3.
The RV3, right. Heard a lot about that one.
Yeah. Came out in 94, made until 2002. Big step because it combined digital reverb and digital delay in one pedal. Super versatile.
2 effects in one box. Smart.
Became a total cult classic, especially with shoegaze again, post-rock, ambient players.
Yeah.
Kevin Shields used this one too. Bands like Explosions in the Sky. It's known for this really spacious, kind of lo-fi, dreamy ambience. Still super sought after.
Okay, so RV3 combined reverb and delay. What came next?
Next up was the RV5, 2002 to 2015. This was back to being a dedicated reverb pedal. 7 modes, had the classics, but the standout new one was modulate mode.
Modulate. What did that do?
It added this subtle, beautiful chorus effect to the reverb tail, created this swirling, lush texture. Ambient and shoegaze guitarists went absolutely crazy for it. Still incredibly popular, even though it's discontinued.
That sounds lovely. And after the RV5,
Fast forward to 2015, we get the RV6. That's their current compact reverb. Big upgrades here. Stereo inputs and outputs, expression pedal input.
modern features.
Yep. Updated classic modes, plus new ones like Shimmer and Dynamic. Shimmer, especially that octave up reverb sound, aimed right at modern ambient worship players. Became an instant hit. Just a really solid, versatile pedal overall.
So they kept refining the compact format. What about the high end?
Well, for the absolute top tier, in 2017 they released the RV500 Reverb Workstation. This thing is a beast.
Yep, big one.
Yeah, flagship model, high-end multi-algorithm reverb. We're talking 32-bit, 96 kilohertz processing, dual reverb engines you can run simultaneously, deep programmability.
Wow, serious power.
It's got pretty much every classic Boss reverb sound ever, plus advanced stuff like nonlinear, SRV Hall, even better shimmer, MIDI control, presets, complex routing. It's a full-on studio and stage machine, a long way from the RV2.
What an incredible journey. From that first, maybe slightly risky compact digital reverb in '87, all the way to these powerful workstations, alongside updated, affordable compacts. They really covered the whole spectrum. So what does this all mean when you zoom out?
I think what it really means is, well, it shows how a single product,
Right.
even one that wasn't around for long, like the RV2, can spark this huge, lasting evolution.
Yeah.
It proves that sometimes the most influential innovations aren't the perfect ones or the biggest sellers initially. They're the ones that bravely open a door to something completely new. The RV2 was that first step into a new world of sound for pedals. And even with its flaws and costs, that first step made everything that followed possible for musicians.
That's a great way to put it. The Boss RV2 really does show how sometimes those technical limits or economic hurdles back then, they accidentally created these unique sounds that ended up becoming legendary, right?
Absolutely. Character born from constraint.
It just shows how one bold idea, shrinking studio tech, can just ripple out for decades and shape the music we're still hearing and making. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive today. It's been fascinating.
A pleasure.
And for you listening, maybe something to think about. How many other things we use every day started out as some kind of expensive, maybe short-lived first attempt? And how often do those early quirks, those imperfections, actually become the things we end up cherishing most about them over time? Something to ponder. Until next time, keep diving deep.